Negotiations between the United States and Ukraine in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, have sparked reactions, particularly from Russian propagandists and military bloggers. What insights do these responses offer? Let's explore. This week, Ukrainian and American officials convened in Jeddah to discuss Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine and its potential resolution. After Ukraine agreed to a full ceasefire with Russia, the U.S. agreed to resume intelligence sharing and to restore the delivery of military materiel to Ukraine, reinstating support that had been paused 2 weeks prior, following a fiery meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Washington.
Сполучені Штати відновили постачання зброї Україні та повернули доступ до розвідувальних даних. Україна погодилась на 30-денне припинення вогню, а угода про корисні копалини готова до підписання.
In Ukraine and most of Europe, the ceasefire agreement, which calls for a full land, air, and sea ceasefire for 30 days, was met with relief, as many viewed it as acknowledgement that Russia, the initiator of the conflict, now holds the power to end its war on Ukraine. The ball is now in Russia's court, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, following 8 hours of talks with the Ukrainian side. The official response from the Kremlin was that it would wait for the U.S. to inform it about the details of the proposed ceasefire agreement. However, Russian reactions in the media, which tend not to say things that the Kremlin doesn't want, were less constrained. These reactions suggest that the U.S. will likely get pushback on any ceasefire proposed to the Russians.
Bloomberg. Украина согласилась на немедленное временное 30-дневное прекращение огня, но сначала должна согласиться Россия. США немедленно снимут приостановку обмена разведной информацией и возобновят оказание помощи Украине в сфере безопасности. То есть получается, мы сейчас им наотмашь бьем по морде, а потом мы говорим, сейчас, минуточку, пауза, чтобы вас накачали оружием и дали вам разведную информацию, а через 30 дней вы, значит, будете нас сдерживать, что ли? Ой, Господи.
One of Russia's largest pro-war publications, Military Informant, wrote that the conditions set by the U.S. and Ukraine are unacceptable for Russia. The situation has developed in such a way that military aid to Ukraine is no longer even tied to a ceasefire. It has resumed regardless. So whether Russia agrees to a ceasefire or not, the U.S. will continue arming Ukraine's armed forces. Thus, agreeing to such a suspended truce, where the enemy continues to receive weapons without any pressure on the ground or in the air, would be the height of stupidity for Russia's military political leadership, the propagandist argued. The largest pro-war portal, Operation Z, published only brief official reports from the Jeddah meeting, which quickly attracted angry comments from Russians. Many accused Trump of being a coward, and even suggested launching a missile strike on him, President Zelensky, and European Union leaders. Official propaganda, despite occasional bitter remarks, is trying to remain composed, as negotiations between the U.S. and Russian representatives are expected. For example, Olga Skabeva, one of Russia's leading propagandists, simply asked, "And what do we get in return?" A little later, pro-war public channels began writing that they did not expect anything different from Trump. One of the most popular propaganda channels, which regularly publishes videos from the front line, stated that no one was ever enamored with Trump. However, just a week ago, the same channel had been posting celebratory reports about forcing Ukraine into peace. For those who have been reading my channel for a long time, there is nothing surprising or unusual about today's sudden maneuver by the Americans regarding the 30-day truce. We have long analyzed such tactics and discussed how the American Trump administration would act, the channel wrote. While the restoration of U.S. support to Ukraine and the proposed ceasefire offer glimmers of hope, the path to lasting peace may yet be distant. Even if the Kremlin's official response has been cordial, Russian propagandists and military bloggers have expressed significant frustration, suggesting that Moscow may be unwilling to accept the ceasefire deal negotiated between the Ukrainians and the Americans.